Congratulations, graduates of 2011. You've just passed a very unique test that will help you pass many other tests in life. Congratulations to all the parents, grandparents, teachers, and other supporters who have supported this extraordinary group of young men and women. Thanks to President Rebecca Chopp and the faculty and the board for giving me this honor. I'm very proud of my first Swarthmore degree, and so therefore I'm thrilled to get a second one. The first degree, of course, was much harder. And remembering how hard I had to work to get through this place, I confess that I'm far more impressed with you than with myself. It's a tremendous privilege to speak to the next generation of problem solvers. 30 years ago, I concluded my studies here, and I see the Swarthmore diploma as a sort of a all-purpose boat for me. It has taken me to many ports, crossing oceans, rivers, of course, swamps as well. And these travels had their ups and downs, but it kept me afloat. In addition to my formal education here, I at least got three things. First of all, knowing how impressive everyone here is, it made me humble. And second, at the same time, knowing also what is really a special group Swarthmore students are, it gave me the confidence that perhaps I have some worth, And so it enabled me to take risks, think in new ways, break out of the mold, and find new ways of solving problems. At least that's what I tried. And the third, Swarthmore gave me a sense of community and that concern for society and do something for everyone else. I really got that from here. And I felt that's the way I should be. And in these ways, Swarthmore certainly had a tremendous influence on me in becoming an entrepreneur, determined, as Rebecca was describing, bringing telecommunications throughout Bangladesh, and which was, of course, many people told me was impossible given the low income in the country and given the cost of bringing modern telecommunication facilities. But entrepreneurship, you ask, isn't that uncool at Swarthmore? That it's making money and everything. But some of my friends think that I went to Wharton from here and it must be that school that tarnished my Swarthmore purity. But indeed, sometimes people think entrepreneurs are those that are just driven to make money. But I want to tell you that that's not true. Since this is 2011, perhaps I should mention exactly 100 years ago, in 1911, Joseph Schumpeter came up with the fundamental economic theory on entrepreneurship. He was actually in his late 20s. And one of the reasons I have great faith in young people. Even to this day, Schumpeter's thesis, he wrote a book called The Theory of Economic Development, which is essentially still the main thesis on entrepreneurship. His point was that entrepreneurs are not necessarily driven to make money. They're driven to bring change. They break out of the mold and innovate and make their mark. I think this is essentially Swarthmore thinking. I knew very well that Swarthmore students have the confidence, the intellect, and the imagination to move away from the conventional. They're the risk takers and mold breakers. And soon, in this light, entrepreneurship at its heart is very much a Swarthmore way. I should also mention that Schumpeter's thinking advanced the subject of economics because it pointed out that making new things or making old things in new ways or trying to meet the needs of a new group of people is what adds dynamism to the economy. Doing the same old thing really maintains the economy, but making new things is really what gives it the growth. For me, the experience of bringing mobile telecommunications in Bangladesh reinforced this point vividly. In the 1990s, people thought that cell phones were it's a luxury item, and actually they thought they were for yuppies. But actually, I thought that, it could be a productivity tool for poor people in poor countries. And I think this has been, by and large, been proven true. But because I was thinking in a new way, I faced resistance. And that's the problem that entrepreneurs must overcome. But because of the new way, millions of people got a useful service, as President Chopp was mentioning. So if your quest is to bring improvements to society, whether it's in economic or in other fields, or whether it's local or global, I believe you'll find mold-breaking an invaluable approach. And it is that Swarthmore, I think, encourages you. It's unbelievable that I was sitting in your chairs exactly 30 years ago. It seems like it just went in a day. So I want to warn you that given that as Swarthmore graduates, you will have many things to do, and as a result, time will fly very fast. And therefore, you have to put your creativity and caring for society as soon as you possibly can. You have to take it seriously. And you have to put work, the extraordinary privilege that you gain from attending Swarthmore, for which you have paid a very high price, I assume. I mean, because you worked hard for those 4 years. But I must also tell you that your parents, grandparents, and your teachers have also paid a price, a big one, in putting up with you and also encouraging you. Because I, frankly, am preparing for my part because my kids are almost getting close to getting college. So I know it's going to be hard and it's going to require some preparation. Okay. As Swarthmore graduates, I know you cannot help think about improving the world. Perhaps I can leave you with a thought, something I have learned from my experience. In my work, I believe that it's essential to engage people in economics and politics, whether it's in high-income or low-income countries. Their engagement is necessary for greater progress that we all seek, namely peace and prosperity around the world. More broadly, if you empower people, they themselves become actors and multiply the contributions that you make to them. Therefore, my work over the last 30 years, which has been, of course, challenging, and you can tell I had some minor loss of hair, but must tell you that you must empower, that it is possible to empower millions of people in low-income countries. It's not just possible, I think it's a critical part of improving the human predicament. And I'm sure your generations can do a much better than my generation has. As you move forward from this day, keep in mind that the story of progress is not written by one or two people, but written by millions. It's perhaps edited by a handful few, but it is made by millions and written by millions. Thank you very much.